nearly half of college students across America are dealing with food insecurity, struggling to keep up with their studies while also struggling to find the next meal.
Campuses around the country are stepping up with creative responses and resources. And one of the most effective is right there in New York. Student Katherine Ames helps run the Purple Apron Pantry at Hunter College, a model other schools are starting to follow.
Yeah, thanks so much for inviting us into your domain. David and I love the work you're doing.
Thank you for inviting me. I love talking about this place.
I know you do. And David says that he's, when he was in college, he had experience with
Yeah.
some of the work you're doing. How so, David?
I think most people, when they think of a college student, don't really consider that they may not have access to food for whatever reason. They have sacrificed everything to be there. So when I was in college, there was issues around where I would sleep during the holidays. And when the meal value of the meal card ran out, where would I get food? So when I learned about this, I just thought this was just my mom used to say the cat's meow, which was a good thing. Just a really positive program meeting in invisible need, which is what we're all about, right? So I loved learning about it, Kat.
Yeah, and we were interested to know how exactly you came to do this. You're very committed, and everybody considers you to be the leader, in charge of this particular effort.
I am a very curious person by nature. So my first semester here, I'm a transfer student. So I have a degree in fine arts. I studied at the American Academy first here in New York City. And then I worked for a while and decided that I wanted to come back for a secondary degree. So when I came here, Hunter, my mother is an alum, so it just sort of made sense. And while I was here this first semester, I was getting my bearings. I was doing a little snooping and I found this hidden door in the basement of the West Building. I walked inside and there was a very nice young lady who was sitting at the desk, and I asked her what this place was, and she said, "This is a pantry." And I volunteered. I was here maybe twice a week helping out, just restocking shelves and getting to know how this place ran. And then the young lady who was here was actually graduating, and she said that she enjoyed my company and that she really appreciated how much effort I put into volunteering here, that she offered me her position. So
Wow.
that is how I came to be here.
That is
Like
terrific.
people avoid doors, Kat. You walk through.
Yeah.
I know, that is so great that you discovered it. And one of the beauties about your pantry is that it's open 6 days a week.
It is. We are open 6 days a week, and I believe it's a day later than all the other pantries that are affiliated with CUNY. Something else that we do differently from the other pantries is that we offer our services to not just our Hunter students, but to the community at large, all of CUNY. So if you go to Baruch, you can come here. If you go to John Jay, you can come here. Also, in terms of our schedule, our people are here once a day, every day that the pantry is open, which is very different from some of these other places that you have to make a schedule with them. And so we're a little bit different.
If someone comes in, what does a visit look like for them? Because I understand there's no income test, there's no paperwork. This is
absolutely not
a little bit shocking here. So just tell us what it's like when you walk in there and need help.
So for us, we do have everybody sign in, but that's really just for us to collect data. We want to make sure that we can tell the higher ups that we are indeed in need and that they should keep funding us. So they'll come here, they'll sign in, and then they're actually offered reusable bags. We are trying to transition into more sustainability here down in the pantry. So we offer reusable bags for them to do their own shopping. And we like the idea of autonomy. So they come in, they do their shopping, and then once they're done, they come here and we do a bag check, but that's just to make sure that everything is kept fair. And then they're on their way. It's actually quite simple.
And so available, that same student can come every day if he or she needs to?
Absolutely. So part of the reason is because we do get one large shipment a week, and so we have to make that last. So let's say they come on a Monday in the middle of the afternoon. We've been open since 9 o'clock in the morning. We may not have everything that we had at the beginning of the day. So we want to offer them the chance to come back the next day and grab whatever it is that they're missing.
Wow. I was reading some of the background on food insecurity with students, and one thing that stuck out to me was that students that are experiencing food insecurity or hunger have a meaningfully lower GPA and
Absolutely.
a 40% lower chance of graduating. I wonder how that tracks with the reality of what you see in the work that you do.
I would say that we get about roughly 30 students a day, depending on the day. And I've heard stories, and I think part of the charm of the pantry is that people do feel safe enough to disclose why it is they are using the pantry. And a lot of it is because they come from homes where mom and dad are also working, or they're dorming and there is no mom and dad. And so their need to be self-sufficient is high. And so, as we all know, the prices of groceries very high, and for college students who are probably primarily going to school and not working a full-time job, cannot afford these same prices, to grab milk and cereal and such and such. So for us to be able to provide that, it's really important. But it does say something when we see the same faces over and over again. It just reinforces the unfortunate idea that we are in a food crisis. It is just what it is at this point in time, and it's very sad. But we're very grateful that we can be here and be of assistance.
Right, and we can probably guess that some of your shoppers are actually unhoused as well as food insecure. And CUNY, there are what, 26 pantries that they've set up throughout the university, which is, tremendous. And I believe the income level, for most families is on the lower side. I think below the $30,000. So to get to college is really, really, it's such an achievement.
Yes.
Families may not be able then to provide everything else that the student needs. And as David says, dropping out, under that kind of stress is really, a
Correct.
possibility.
Absolutely. I like to think of it as the same thing as like lunch programs for a public school, right? We want our students to be fed so that they're not worried about, their tummies being empty during the day. I don't know about you, but if I don't eat throughout the entire day, I am very upset. I'm not focused on my studies. I'm not focused on doing well on that test. I'm worried, and I'm it's uncomfortable, and nobody be uncomfortable in that way.
So can you give us a little bit of a tour? What's available to the students today?
We did receive our shipment yesterday, and like I said, because we have to make sure that everything lasts, we distribute sporadically throughout the day. We did do a little bit of a restock yesterday, but I was open a little bit this morning, so we had some visitors early. And so we'll get things like milk and juice. We'll get shelf-stable items like soup and beans. We also have a lot of the like packaged things as well, which is really great. Our students really love that. Hunter does have a high Muslim population, so we do have a halal fridge, and we do have a kosher and non-halal fridge. We want to be able to make sure that everybody has accessibility to this place. We do a lot of it's canned, a lot of canned things, veggies, fruits, the items that you'd spend a lot of money on, like oils and things like that. We have that here, so they don't have to worry about it. We also get things like paper towels and toilet paper and other household goods. On a really good day, we'll get things like pet food, and I can't tell you how many students come here asking for the pet food. Thankfully, because we have two private donors, we have the Carol and Milton Petrie Foundation who gives to us, and we also have the Mildred Alpern Fund. We're able to get things like fresh produce bags and eggs every Monday and Tuesday. We weren't able to do that at the beginning, so we're very grateful for those kinds of donations to us, and so are the students.
But you operate on a budget, and Hunter sets aside, X amount of dollars to buy these items for you, and it comes through the New York City Food Bank. Is that?
Correct. So, we have a budget. I don't know if you knew, but this week we had our first ever giving day.
Mm,
The goal was to reach $500,000 from 500 donors. I am really proud to say that our department received matching funds, and so we won one of these challenges, which is
great.
just spectacular. It's spectacular. I can't tell you. But yeah, so through these donations, we are able to do things that we weren't able to do at the beginning. When we first opened up, it was 1 or 2 deliveries a month, and now it's once a week, which is really, really lovely.
It's great. I was looking for ramen noodles on that shelf and other, super important products. You said you stumbled upon the purple door, so to speak. How would you recommend other students who might want to duplicate this at their campuses? I'm sort of curious. And for our listeners and watchers who are not New Yorkers, what is CUNY? And then any advice to folks who may want to do this where they are in their community, in their educational institution?
I'd like to talk on how to sort of replicate this, because I think it really requires openness and a willing to invite. It's really like about creating community within community. So yes, I stumbled upon this door, but I made friends with the person who was sitting here. I carved out time to be here. And because of that, when I took over, the volunteers that were volunteering with me stayed. And we created a new set of volunteers. I went from 3 volunteers when I took this position to 18, because this place is really important. And I invited as many people as they wanted to come to be part of this, because it's really important that we show that this place has no stigma. Anybody can come here.
Mhm.
It's not about the color of your skin. It's not about your gender. It's about your need. Can we help you? Please come here. And you can see the diversity that we have here. It's really quite lovely. We hang out outside of class as well, and that's part of it, because now we're talking about this wonderful place outside in the community. So whenever I go to classes and I start a brand new semester, I'm talking about the Purple Pantry.
Yep.
I'm talking to just random people on the Sky Bridge about the Purple Pantry, because people will say, I've seen your face. And I've been lucky and grateful and just lucky enough to be able to speak about this place, that I've been written up in some places. And so people recognize me. And because of that, this place has become better known.
You are, Kat, becoming a celebrity. And David, CUNY, I think it might be the largest university in the country. I'm not sure. I mean, Kat, is it like 250,000 students, maybe even more?
Roughly, that's rough estimate. That's the rough estimate, but quite a bit. And we're spread out throughout the 5 boroughs. And like we said, there are 26 pantries in total, and they all operate differently. But I think more than anything, the fact that we even have them is just paramount to the fact that we know that people need us. We're a necessity.
Right.
Tours that come by here, that we're just like the Office of Accessibility. We're just like the Bursar's office. In order for you to have a positive college experience, you should be coming here and using it. And if you don't want to use us, that's fine. Volunteer. There's so many ways to get involved here at Hunter. And I think the pantry is one of the like pristine places to come and do that.
Well, Kat, yeah, I know you have attracted so many students and the general population, and now, as we understand, donors as well. So keep up the good work. We are so glad that you are there, that the pantry is there, and that the students are utilizing it. So, thanks so much, and thanks for joining us on the podcast.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for letting me be here. I appreciate it.
Thanks for being with us. Be sure to check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
You can also find more information about our guests, and we have show notes and all of that, and about the podcast and the other events and volunteering that we're doing on our website, theinvisibleamericans.com. Thanks for being with us today. We will see you the next time.